What happens is sometimes we want to give advice to people to keep them from going through any kind of discomfort. And the thing is that's exactly what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to go through that lesson. They should have learned that lesson like 10 years ago, but there's always someone there to keep them from learning that lesson. Welcome to another episode of Truck Talk. My name is Albert Lopez. What's cracking? The best time to give advice is when you're asked for it. If no one's asking for your advice, the best advice to give is none at all. See, once I started living a conscience-guided life, I knew that the only instructions I needed were from my conscience. And sometimes what would happen is my conscience would tell me, hey, go ask this person for advice. And they're going to give you the perfect words you need to hear to light up that next step that you need to take. What happens is sometimes we want to give advice to people to keep them from going through any kind of discomfort, any kind of suffering, any kind of compression, any kind of adversity. I can help you avoid this. Here, let me tell you to do this because this and this will happen, and you don't want that to happen. And the thing is that's exactly what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to go through that lesson. They're supposed to learn that today. Matter of fact, they should have learned that lesson like 10 years ago. But there's always someone there, maybe you, to keep them from learning that lesson. Events keep on happening to them in order to have them learn that lesson, but the advice that you give them always keeps them from learning that lesson. So that means they don't learn it, and all that's going to happen is that they're going to go through another issue, another challenge, so they can learn that lesson. And if you're not there to keep them from learning that lesson, they'll finally go through that adversity, that challenge, that compression, that issue, that problem, and learn what it is that they need to learn if they're aware. I learned that the best advice to give is to teach someone how to listen to their conscience. And the best way to teach them that is through example. You listen to your conscience. By listening to your conscience, you're going to start taking all the right steps to attract everything that you want. Solutions to issues, accomplishments, a high level of pleasantness, understanding that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So that means life is just pleasant despite what's happening. That's a conscience-guided life. You teach someone how to do that, you make their life a lot more valuable, a lot more pleasant. They become someone who's guidable, not someone who's humble. Once I understood how that worked, I've never taken the wrong step. I've never made a poor decision. I've never made the wrong decision. Well, what about that time where you made this choice and everything fell apart? It was supposed to happen. The information and the wisdom and the weatheredness, the scars that I learned through that adversity, through that failure, through that challenge is so powerful. Had I not gone through that challenge, had I not gone through that problem and saw it as life happening for me, not to me, I wouldn't have learned what I learned. I wouldn't be able to share what I've learned. So when we get in the way and keep people from going through this adversity and keeping them from learning the wisdom and not teaching them, hey, you know what? If you listen to your conscience, if you understand that life happens for you, not to you, you could gain a tremendous amount of wisdom from what you think is bad, from you think is horrible, from you thinking that what's happening is against you, and flipping it and seeing it as like, hey, there's something to learn here. I should have a level of gratitude that I'm chosen to go through this, to learn what I need to learn. And if I face this and learn what I need to learn, I'm actually getting closer to the accomplishments that I want. The best time to give advice is when we're asked for it. The best advice to give is to teach the person how to listen to their conscience to always get the best advice every single time they need it. Don't get in the way so you're not in the way. And if you feel that you're that person that's always asking for advice, I was that person the first half of my life, the first part of my life. It's always like, what should I do? Not only was I at a high level of people pleasing, I wanted to do what you thought was good so I could look good in your eyes. But at the same time, it's like, hey, if I do what you do, it'll be a good choice because you always seem to make good choices. But those good choices were meant for that person. They weren't meant for me. My best choice is what my conscience was telling me what to do, which most of the time, it's the thing you don't want to do because it's the path of most resistance. And we always want to choose the path of least resistance, such as people pleasing. If I do what you tell me, I'll feel good because you'll give me that pat on the back for listening. You'll give me the good job. If you turn around and just listen to your conscience and say, dang, that route, that path, that's the tough way to go. That's the right way to go. You'll gain everything that you need to gain. You'll notice that things start getting closer to you because you are taking the uphill route, the heavy route, the route where you fall, the route where you get your scraped knees, the route where you're sweating, where you're tired, where you're sleepy, where you're hungry. That's the route to go. And that's the route that your conscience is telling you to take. Learn to listen to your conscience and teach how to listen to your conscience. The best time to give advice is when you're asked. The best advice to give is to teach someone how to listen to their conscience. Hope this helps. Catch you on the next one.